Hi, we're going to discuss stretches and shrinks with regard to graph transformations. So we're considering some positive value k, and the stretches are going to work, or shrinks are going to work like this. If you multiply the function by a number, it's going to depend if the number is greater than 1 or less than 1. So if you multiply by a number greater than 1, it's going to stretch it vertically by that factor. So like if you multiply this by 2, it's going to stretch by a factor of 2. If you multiply by a number that is less than 1, still positive, so like for example 0.5, then you're going to shrink it by a factor of which is the reciprocal of number. That means if this number here is the 0.5, which is 1/2, then you're going to shrink it by a factor of 2. For the horizontal ones, this is when you multiply the value of k inside. So if you multiply by a number that's greater than 1, then it's going to shrink, the graph is going to shrink by that factor. So if this was 2x, then it's going to shrink by a factor of 2 horizontally. And if the number is less than 1, still positive though, that's going to stretch horizontally by a factor that's going to be the reciprocal. Let's see how this works. So our first example is f of x equals 1/2 x squared. So we multiply the function x squared by 1/2. That is a vertical. It's 1/2, so that's going to be vertical shrink by the factor of 2, right? Or another way to look at that, you basically take all your y values that you're going to see and you're going to cut them in half. So over here 0, 0 is going to stay the same. The y value here is 1, so we're going to shrink it, it's going to become half. The y value here is 4, half of that's going to be 2. And then similar thing happens on this side, and our graph is gonna get like this. So it shrinks vertically. This one here. Now 2x is inside, and it's a number greater than 1, so it is actually going to have a horizontal shrink by a factor of 2, which, well, by a factor which is going to be that number by 2. So we're looking at our horizontal values now. So this is 0, 0, nothing's going to happen here. So this y coordinate here is 1, it's going to get half. Hold on a second, I'm trying to do, half. This y value here is 2, is going to get 1. This y value here is 3, is going to become 3/2. This is 4, is going to become 2. And here, it's like this. This is what our graph is going to look like. But with the absolute value function, these two can be actually taken out of the function, and then it's going to be viewed as a vertical stretch by a factor of 2, but the graph will be exactly the same. Okay, this one. So the parent function is square root of x. We have 2 in front of it. This is going to be vertical stretch by 2. So every y value gets doubled. So 0 stays here. This is going to be our y value of 1. So it's going to become 2. This is 2. It's going to become 4. So you see how that graph is getting stretched vertically. Now we have 1/2 x underneath the square root. So that would be a horizontal change. The number is 1/2, so it's less than 1, so it's going to be a horizontal stretch. and the value is going to be the reciprocal of this horizontal stretch by a factor of 2. So every horizontal value is going to be doubled. 0, 0 stays there. This is 1 is going to become 2, and this 4 is going to become 8, which you don't quite see. So our graph is going to be stretched horizontally like that. Let's try to do it with some graphs that are not very specific. When I have equations, see how this works. This is 1/2 f of x, so that will cause for the graph to have a vertical shrink, because it is you multiply the function by a number less than 1, so it's a vertical shrink, and we do vertical shrink by 2, so everything's going to be cut, well, basically cutting everything in half vertically. So let's take a look. This value here is 3, it's going to become half of that, which is 3/2. This is 4, it's going to become 2. This is -2 here, it's going to become -1. 0 is going to stay in place, 0 is going to stay in place. So now we are going to connect this one's going to be 2, it's going to become 1. You want to do more points. So what are we getting after all this? You're getting a graph that's going to go like that, then it's going to go like that, and then it's going to go like that. Okay. And now let's take a look at another example. So example 6, this is f of 1/2 x. So when the number is in front of the function, we multiply x by it. You look at that number, this number is less than 1. That means you're going to have a horizontal stretch. By a factor of 2. Now your x values are going to be stretched. So this x coordinate here is 1, it's going to become 2. This x coordinate here is 2, it's going to become 4. This x coordinate here is 0, we're going to keep that in the same place. Okay, we don't have a lot more room here to do that. Let's see, this here is 1. I'm sorry, -1 is going to become -2. This here is -2 is going to become -4. So let's see what we're getting here. Let's do another point. This is 3, so it's going to be 6 here. It's going to go like that, so you should see how it got stretched horizontally. Alright, and I hope this helps.